Recording in progress, so it says. Hope everybody is well today, and looking forward to our little session, a short session, of which we cover the chanting, the Buddhist verses, the reciting of the Buddhist verses, for a little bit of practice in that area to help ourselves absorb our mind with the Dharma, the teachings, so that we can recall them at any time and make sure that we put them into practice. And of course, some different meditations, as well as the Dharma Talk. So I think this format is good. We've been doing this one pretty much the same since we started the Zoom classes. So, and it's reasonably close to the same from the face-to-face classes or the in-person classes, except they were much longer. All right, so let's do the chanting. Excuse me. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami, dhammam saranam gacchami, sangham saranam gacchami, tudayambi buddham saranam gacchami, tudayambi dhammam saranam gacchami, tudayambi sangham saranam gacchami, tatayambi buddham saranam gacchami, Tadayambi dhammam saranam gacchami, Tadayambi sangham saranam gacchami. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May they be free from suffering and its causes. May they never be parted from the happiness beyond suffering. May they abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment to the near, and aversion from the far. I shall cause this. Great compassionate Buddha, please inspire me to be able to do so. Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every types of offerings, actual and mentally transformed. I confess all of my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in all the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until cyclic existence ends, and turn the wheel of Dharma for all sentient beings. I dedicate the virtues of myself and others to the great enlightenment. However innumerable all sentient beings are, I vow to save them all. However inexhaustible my delusions are, I vow to extinguish them all. However immeasurable the Dharma teachings are, I vow to master them all. However endless the Buddhist way is, I vow to follow it completely. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Tayatam gati gati parasangati buddhiso. Tayatam gati parasangati buddhiso. Tayatam gati parasangati buddhiso. So now get yourself comfortable for some meditation practice. So bring your mind inside your body. And from the bottom of the body to the top, we will release the tension. So as you focus on specific areas, release whatever tension you may have from that area at that time. You can do so just with your mind, or you can utilize the physical action of breathing. So deep in breath and then release on the long out breath. Or you can also manipulate the body, stretch it as well. So releasing the tension from all around your feet, from your toes, the bottoms of the feet, the balls, the arches, the heels. And from the lower part of your leg. And your knees and your upper legs. And to the midsection. And now release the tension from your upper torso, the back, sides, and front. All the way up your back to your shoulders, and then down to the tips of your fingers. And release from your neck, the back of your head and sides of your head, and from all around your face. And finally, the crown of your head. So now briefly scan your body again to see if there's any leftover tension, and if there is, release it. You bring the focus to the tip of your nose initially and follow the feeling of the breath as we breathe in the nose all the way into the lungs and then back out the nose again. So breathing in and breathing out. That's all you have to do physically, and mentally is all you have to do is focus on the breath. And if your mind wanders away from the breath, replace your mind back on the breath. That's all you have to do mentally. You can also add the extra technique of counting the breaths from 1 up to 10. If you get distracted on the way towards 10, go back to 1 at that time. So if any thoughts arise or mental activity arises, don't cling to it or grasp at it or try to force it away or deny it. But simply and naturally let it go as you replace your mind back onto your breath. And if your mind becomes dull or sleepy, then wake it up a little bit by refocusing on your breath more brightly. So let's practice like this in silence for a little bit. And I feel very pleased with yourself for engaging in this practice of meditation, and fill yourself with universal loving kindness, utilizing the visualization technique of filling your whole being with the white light, which represents the universal loving kindness. And as you fill yourself with this universal loving kindness, I will recite the Metta Sutta. I haven't done it for quite some time now, since just when we first started doing these teachings on the commentary on the meditation and its benefits article. Paraniya Metta Sutta, or the Buddha's words on universal loving kindness. This is the work for those who are skilled and peaceful, who seek the good. May they be able and upright, honest, of gentle speech and not proud. May they be content and easily supported, unburdened with their senses calmed. May they be wise and not arrogant and without desire for the possessions of others. May they do nothing mean or that the wise would reprove. May all sentient beings be happy. May they live in safety and joy. All sentient beings, whether weak or strong, great or small, short or tall, seen or unseen, near or distant, born or to be born, may they all be happy. Let no one deceive or despise another being in any state. Let none by anger or hatred wish harm upon another. Just as a mother would protect her only child with her life, even so let one cultivate a boundless love towards all sentient beings. Let one radiate this boundless love towards the entire world, above and below, and in all directions, without hindrance, without ill will, without enmity. Standing or walking, sitting or lying down, during all one's waking hours, may one remain mindful of this heart and this way of living that is the best in the world. Unattached to speculations, views, and sense desires, with clear vision, such a person will never be reborn in the cycles of suffering. So now radiate this loving kindness out to your loved ones initially. So if you are utilizing the visualization, visualize the white light radiating from your heart center, entering into the heart centers and filling them totally of the beings in front of you, your loved ones, family and friends. And now also include strangers and do likewise. And enemies as well. And do likewise, and have the wish that all sentient beings are free from suffering, that they are happy, and that they are peaceful. So beyond just humans now, to all sentient beings around your immediate area, all sentient beings, whether they are living in the waters, living on the land, or flying through the air, or a combination, whether they're born from wombs, moisture, eggs, or through transformation. So radiating this universal loving kindness to them, filling them with the universal loving kindness. Now gradually, further and further distance-wise, throughout your whole state or county. And all of the states and counties throughout your country. And all of the countries, as well as all of the oceans and so on throughout the world, down to the core of the earth and to the outermost atmosphere. And also throughout the whole galaxy, the whole solar system, and galaxy, and the universe and beyond. Ultimately, there is no distance. So you are radiating this loving kindness to all beings throughout infinite space. Whilst also being present here and now to recite the dedication prayer. Due to this merit, may I soon attain the enlightened state of the Buddha, so that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious bodhicitta, not yet born, rise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. And may the precious view of shunyata, not yet born, rise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. So we will continue our discussion on meditation and its benefits, getting to know your mind. It's quite steamy again today. It's not nowhere near as hot as it was last week. I think last week on that day it was about 35 here. I think in Melbourne maybe 42 if I remember right. Today it's much less, maybe high 20s in Melbourne. Maybe here low 20s, but it's quite humid. So hopefully my glasses don't fog up like last week. I think they lasted about 10 seconds before they started fogging up. Lucky I can actually see reasonably well without them. Meditation makes the mind sharper, stronger and clearer, enabling us to solve our own problems more skillfully, as well as being able to call on the power of our mind to make profound changes in our life. We will become healthier and happier, for it has been proven that there is a strong relationship between meditation and physical and psychological well-being. It is only through engaging in the practice of meditation that we can transform our limited powers of concentration into extraordinary, unlimited powers of concentration. So we'll attack, you can say, or unveil, or work our way through this paragraph today. So I think it should be very clear, if we practice meditation correctly, then you can get to know your mind, get to know what to adopt and practice, get to know what to abandon. Makes the mind sharper. What we mean by that is you can penetrate beyond just the normal way of thinking. Most of the time in the world, people are very behaving like idiots a lot of the time. Excuse my language that I'm using. Blaming others for their problems, hurting others, hurting themselves, unfortunately, because their mind is very dull and they just follow, like the words that we've used before, making up words, the sheeples, following the sheeples, following the normal way of thinking and behaving, not realizing that they actually can purify their minds, can cause happiness for themselves, can avoid causing suffering for themselves, can achieve peace, even if it's relative in the beginning, and can work their way towards unveiling the truth. It's unfortunate that it's not realized, practiced, and realized in the world very much at all. But we can make our mind sharper. We can penetrate beyond the superficial. And so that's, in a sense, what I mean by sharper, is you can utilize, you could say metaphorically or symbolically, this iconography of a sword. Manjushri, the Bodhisattva of great wisdom, carries a sword that has flames at the end of it, which makes it sharper even, and represents wisdom, supreme wisdom, prajna paramita, the perfection of wisdom, because it cuts through the ignorance, cuts through the superficial, and gets to the bare truth, the ultimate truth. The mind becomes stronger, so we're not going to be blown off the path so easily with our emotions, getting upset about this, getting upset if we get something we don't want, and getting upset if we don't get what we want, and so on, and vice versa. So it makes your mind stronger, you're able to deal with things and take responsibility, for your life. take responsibility for our state of mind, take responsibility for our physical conditions, and don't always point outside of ourselves. It doesn't do any good when we do that. In fact, what we're doing is reinforcing the habit of doing so. So our ignorance will increase over time. And therefore, all of the other mental afflictions will increase over time. So the mind sharper, stronger, and clearer. So able to perceive things as they really are. So very clear, sharp, once again, sharp, penetrating beyond the superficial, strong, immovable, you could say, immovable from the practice, not going to be blown around by the worldly concerns, praise and blame, fame and shame, and so on. And also clear, so that we can perceive things as they are. Once again, going back to the Dharma practice of what to adopt, what to abandon, perceiving clearly what to adopt, and then adopting it, practicing it. Clearly perceiving what to abandon and abandoning it, avoiding practicing it, okay, or engaging in it, in these mental afflictions that then, of course, will lead to the negative actions of the body and the speech. And therefore, we're creating karma, bad karma, and creating the conditions that we will not understand the nature of reality, because we will continually cloud our mind over and over and reinforce the mental afflictions. So meditation makes the mind sharper, stronger, and clearer, enabling us to solve our own problems more skillfully. I was alluding to that before. So we're able to deal with difficulties and our problems, and then able to solve our problems, if at all possible. And because we have to go deep into our mind to find the causes of the problems. And then once we understand that, then we're able to, once again, adopt the good stuff, abandon the negativities that are causing the problems. And also avoiding engaging in verbal actions and physical actions that also are negative, following on from the mental afflictions. Secondary, but still following on. And when it comes to, especially these modern days with the social media, internet, and things like that, the words that you write also come under speech. And it's also a physical action of writing it, typing it, and stuff like that. So we have to be really careful, look after our mind so that we don't follow through with this writing of the words negative, or even just putting it out there. We are trying to communicate with others in a sense like that, but you have no idea how others will understand it or misunderstand it. So sometimes it's best just to stay silent. Not so you bottle up the problems, but so you can find solutions. I have a quote from many years ago. I said that I expanded upon it with, I think, a few paragraphs of explanation. But if I was only to talk to myself, I better remain silent. So what I mean by that is in the mind, remain silent in the mind. But also you can work out what it is you need to abandon and what it is you need to adopt, and then do so, okay? Practice well, in other words. But also, you can say that we if we want to share something with people, we are doing so to communicate with them, not just to get our opinion across. That's boring. So often our opinion is clouded by our mental afflictions and so on. But to communicate with others, that's why we speak. That's why we write. Not just to get our opinion across or to cause arguments and to do this. I think sometimes people think that they feel alive when they do things like that, when actually, no, you're just clouding your mind when you do that. So, the time. So it enables, when we practice meditation, we help to enable ourselves to deal with and solve our own problems more skillfully. Not just think we are solving our problems or adding to them. As well as being able to call on the power of our mind to make profound changes in our life. The power of the mind, obviously, you can say the power, it's wisdom, compassion, universal loving kindness. You could say these are powerful states of mind. Some people in some cultures have said stupid things like, oh, compassion, when you are compassionate, you are weak. It's strong, powerful, not weak. It's weak when we give in to our emotions, give in to our mental afflictions. Sometimes people think, oh, I'm getting angry and hatred, being aggressive, that's powerful. No, it's weak. What is powerful is wisdom, compassion. Looking after the mind, patience, forbearing difficulties, and so on. Making the effort, even when it's difficult to make the effort, in the right direction. And yes, we can make profound changes in our life right now. In this moment, we can. But also, what I'm alluding to here is you can also start the wheel rolling, to use a metaphor. Start the wheel turning forward in the right direction. Start to make profound changes right now. And as we go along the journey, again using metaphor, then we will improve ourselves with constant improvement, positive change, okay? We will become healthier and happier. And I'm not particularly talking about, our physical health, if we have some physical health problems, even mental health problems, things like that. I'm not saying that we can fix it right now, but it can help. And once again, it can help to start to make things better right now. So if we have, difficulties with, maybe we are older and we have some physical issues that have become chronic, maybe it's difficult to heal ourselves from that right now, okay? But maybe we can alleviate these difficulties a little bit, lessen them a little bit, at very least, lessen our reaction to them. So let's say, for instance, you get a sore neck. With meditation, you get to perceive that sore neck, but also then you get to release the areas around that sore neck. So you're not like tensing up, making it worse. And so when we're doing the releasing of the tension, meditation, we maybe can't get rid of all of our pain, but we can release the areas around that as much as possible anyway, okay? So that's a good point to make. Yes, we tend to get a little bit happier. We suffer less. Remember in samsara that happiness really is the relief from suffering, isn't it? It's not the ultimate happiness yet. For it has been proven that there is a strong relationship between meditation and physical and psychological well-being. So this is proven by science, modern science, but also throughout history. Buddhist practitioners, other spiritual traditions, the practitioners, the good ones, have purified their mind to a certain degree, and their behaviors follow suit, good behavior. So a strong relationship, that physical and psychological well-being, especially psychological, is good. And it's been proven in modern science. You could say that maybe modern science has a way to catch up to Buddhist science, the Buddhist teachings, and never will actually catch up, because they can only prove things on a physical level. Related to mind, maybe the connection to physicality is the brain. So you can study, you can investigate, analyze brain activity and things like that related to the mind, but it's still physical. So can't see the mind really, okay? It is only through engaging in the practice of meditation that we can transform the limited powers of mind, of concentration, into extraordinary, unlimited powers of concentration. But it's really important that we don't think we're going to get something, you know. I've got to do this practice so I can get this. Just practice. Don't try, I've got to get the jhanas, I've got to realize the jhanas, the mental absorptions that you get, that you achieve along the way. Ultimately, the jhanas don't exist, ultimately. Relatively, yes, as the mind becomes more pure, more subtle, and so on. But don't try to get them. If you try to achieve them or get them or attain them, then you're pushing them away. So often I think people think, oh, I want to practice meditation. They think that they're doing it to get something. I want a calm mind. Okay, fair enough, but just practice. Don't always search for this calm mind, this clear mind, you know. Just put into practice, trust the method, and trust yourself. Even if if your meditations a lot of the time are fragmented, broken, not a constant thread of practice. Just be confident in yourself. You can practice this and you can improve, constant improvement, like I said, positive change. That's actually sort of subtitle of some Q&A sessions that we did, I think about 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. I can't remember exactly, but just after we had the commentary on the Metta Sutta and also the Four Immeasurables. I was grouping together the questions and answers from the period before that. And that's really what I called it. So the constant change or constant improvement, there you go, and positive change. We can continually engage in this, in practice and cause this. But you have to practice it to cause it. You cannot expect the good results of meditation practice if you don't practice meditation. Just like you cannot experience the good results of having a good balanced diet, having enough to eat, if you don't eat. You cannot quench your thirst if you don't drink water or some other liquid. Okay, so we have to put the meditation into practice. I think in this busy world, difficult for people to think about doing these things, undoing the busyness, and prioritizing what is really important, rather than just filling our lives with activities that may be not important, or maybe important a little bit to achieve certain things, but really in the long term, just this lifetime, isn't it? Then it ends. So when we practice meditation and develop a strong, stable, flexible, humble mind, and so on, then we take this into future lives, and it will help us on the path, the Dharma path to enlightenment. But so often we just think about, getting stuff in this life, but it's impermanent, constant state of change. It also has the nature of suffering. I mentioned that before, that to achieve happiness in this life really is relief from suffering. You can get, relative levels of happiness as well, but they don't last. They're impermanent, like as I said. There's no self anyway. Who are you trying to satisfy? What are you trying to satisfy? What is it that you're trying to do? All right, so I will read this paragraph again, and next week we'll go on to the following ones. I think they've allocated the next three short paragraphs for next week. Meditation makes the mind sharper, stronger, and clearer. enabling us to solve our own problems more skillfully, as well as being able to call on the power of our mind to make profound changes in our life. We will become healthier and happier, for it has been proven that there is a strong relationship between meditation and physical and psychological well-being. It is only through engaging in the practice of meditation that we can transform our limited powers of concentration into extraordinary, unlimited powers of concentration. So I rejoice in your goodness and rejoice in your Dharma studies with good intention, and also your Dharma practice with your good intention, and your Dharma sharing, however that may be, with good intention. Remember, good intention, very, very important. It's where karma really is created. So, Namo Buddhaya,